So almost exactly 8 years ago, my husband and I were freshly married.
I found you. Two worlds collided. I see forever in your eyes.
Just back from our honeymoon in Ecuador.
You're everything to me, darling. I can't believe we made it here.
And we were moving into this 1905 farmhouse that still needed a lot of work. So long story short, my husband is from Oregon, I'm from Pennsylvania. We met out in his home area when I was teaching school. So we fell in love, we got married, and we've lived happily ever after since. Not quite, there's been bumps. Anyway, so what brought us to Pennsylvania? So basically, long story short, when we were dating, Nolan was actually teaching up in Alberta, Canada. I was teaching in Oregon. When he quit teaching, my brother offered him a job on a fencing crew back here in Pennsylvania. We thought it would be nice if we could live in the same area when we were engaged. That way we'd be together, plan the wedding, and so on. Also, my dad had a property with a big old farmhouse sitting on it with no one in it. So my dad gave us the option that we could stay in this house rent-free for a little while before we started paying rent. And so the pieces were just kind of falling together, and that's how we moved to Pennsylvania. We were planning to stay here for a year or so, move back out to Oregon. But as some things happen, the year actually kind of morphed into 8 years, and here we are, still in Pennsylvania and still in the same 1905 farmhouse. Basically what happened is there's a few different circumstances that kept us here, and we kept throwing it around if we wanted to stay, if we wanted to leave. We kept staying. We fell in love with the area, with the place here. We got the opportunity to possibly buy this place when my dad quits farming. And so there's various things that we just came to love this place and decided we're probably going to stay here at least for most of our life, or at least we'll see how the Lord leads. But anyway, so this we consider our permanent home. That's kind of a long story. Let's backtrack a little bit, back 8 years when we were moving in as newlyweds. But before we jump into that, if you're new here, my name is Janine. This is my channel, The Mennonite Mom, where I document all things family and mom life, tips and tricks, and lots of renovations that we have going on. Currently, we're right in the middle of renovating our 1905 farmhouse. So if you're interested in that, stick around. This video is going to be kind of the beginning of that series. I've been giving sneak peeks and updates as to what's been going on, but now I need to actually dig into all my videos and start putting them together and sharing it with you all. So if you're new here, I would love to have you hang around. Anyway, back to 2012. This house definitely needed a lot of work. That whole summer, we had people here that were kind of renovating some of the inside. The master bedroom was like 2 small rooms that we put into one. We added a whirlpool. The bathroom was pretty old, kind of got a facelift. We had someone come in, repaint the whole house. We put in some new carpet in some of the rooms, and also the kitchen. I worked really hard at the cabinets. Kind of back then, red was really the in thing, so I kind of gave the cabinets a facelift. And so yeah, the inside felt amazing. It was new. We had some new windows put in downstairs. That was kind of the gist of it, and that's what we did when we were engaged. So to all my subscribers that are kind of used to seeing the homestead here and how everything looks now, let me just give you a little peek what it looked like then. And I have some old photos. I don't have a whole lot of videos, but I'll pull up what I can. So there was like old corn cribs here. There was some old block buildings, some old sheds out on the lawn that really had no purpose. And my dad loves to push over old things. They were kind of pointless, and so we ended up deciding to like knock over some of these buildings. There was also kind of like a fenced in area right behind the house. That was torn down, and we put everything into a big lawn. Right around the house there was a bunch of huge like trees, shrubs, whatever. We tore all that out. Nolan went to work, and we went out in the fields and got big field stones, and he made me a really beautiful flower bed. So there was a lot of outside projects that were going on. We added a cute little garden in the back. I built an arbor. Nolan helped build a little round shed. We had gotten the roof off an old silo that was sitting here on the property, and we built a little round shed out in my garden. I love my garden. This year I haven't been very good at gardening, but hopefully next year when all the renovations are finished. But anyway, there's been lots of little updates on this property, and it looks nothing like it did when we first moved here. However, the house was peeling and in dire need of a paint job when we moved in. And Nolan was slowly working at it. He, every year he'd chip away at it a little bit, but it's so hard to tackle a huge project like this when you only have a few hours in the evenings and on weekends, and you don't want to spend all your time working. So one of the major things that was happening, this house was not insulated, and we were getting frozen pipes every winter, and it was just a wreck, and pipes would freeze and crack and break. So one of the things that my husband did is we tried first blowing in insulation. We got that done in the attic, but it wouldn't work on the outside walls because it's balloon studs that were too close together, and the insulation would just get stuck and wouldn't go down through. So my husband actually went and tore off all the siding and insulated it and put all the siding back on. So while it didn't look like much, it was a lot of work, but we never quite got it painted. So the outside of the house was kind of sitting like this for a while, and the rest of the house was just peeling and chipping, and it was getting weathered. There was rotted spots up in the roofs that the birds would go live in. We had this ugly old kind of lean-to porch garage pull-in area with like this see-through roofing. It looked nasty. That was all kind of how we left it for the past 7 years. We finally were like, you know what? It's going to be worth going into debt, get a bunch of people in to just finish out this house, and then just have it off our minds instead of always hanging over us and plugging away at it here and there, and never fully enjoying a day off because we know we were supposed to be working at this or that or the other thing. So that's what we did. We got a loan. We decided that this is the year that this house is going to get completed. So that leads me to present day, and this is where the video series starts, where a lot of you have been looking forward to this, where I want to show you kind of the progress of the house. We started lining up contractors and painters through the process. We decided we're going to do a new kitchen as well when we're at it, and we started doing more. Nolan was working at the guest bedroom to turn it into Xander's room. So there's a lot of things going on inside and out, and in this series I want to take you through it all. We had a painter come in, look at the place, give us an estimate, and put us on his schedule. And of course most of the people, the roofing people and the gutter people and all those different types of crews, most of them couldn't come until the end of the year. My brother-in-law does masonry work, and so while it was kind of something that should have been done after the house was painted, we decided to just get what we could when we could, and he was able to come earlier. And so the first thing that we did is we tore off that ugly old porch roof, and he came in and laid us a beautiful sidewalk patio with stone steps going up to our front door. And then we had to wait a while until the painter and the other contractors could come. But meanwhile, Nolan was super busy trying to get ready for the painters. He replaced all the old windows in the house with new windows. And on the outside, he wanted to replicate the headers and the trim around the windows. He wanted to keep that old farmhouse, the old original look. He was going around the house, working at some trim work, replacing some wood that needed done. And through the process, he began to realize that there's no way he can get this finished before the painter comes, and he was beginning to get overwhelmed, as was I, just overwhelmed for him. And so thankfully, we contacted the painter, and the painter had some other talents under his belt, and he said, sure, you know, I've worked at some old houses. As we go around redoing this house, we can replace wood, do the trim work, and repoint chimneys and that type of thing. And so that was a huge relief that this gentleman could come in and do it all for us, and we didn't have to worry about it. But that didn't mean we still didn't have a lot of work to do. Because we were getting a new kitchen, someone gave me the idea, I think it was my mom. We had sort of an oven with two of the really long windows right beside the oven. It's very inefficient, and someone said you should shorten those windows and then you could run cabinets up to your stove and above the windows, and we were like, that's a perfect idea. My husband wasn't quite sure about it at first, but he's like, okay, let's roll with it. And then when he was done, he said, I love this. This was an excellent idea. He went ahead and did that. We replaced those windows, made them smaller, and he actually put a bigger window in by my sink. So there was lots of work going into the kitchen as well while we were waiting for the painter to come. And we wanted to have that all finished so that all the dimensions would be correct on the outside before the paint job started. Today, Nolan head off and kept working at this house. He's tearing off gutter. So another thing that Nolan did was over around the corner here, there was a window and he boarded that shut, which is gonna be really nice. It was just an old dirty window that went into kind of our laundry mudroom.
Look!
What did Dad do?
He cleared that up.
Did he?
Yeah, look. He cleared that window up.
He did, yeah.
That's a nice worker, guy.
So basically when this work was finished, we were kind of having some stress with the painter. Kept calling us, and I'm just not sure about scraping this. First he had told us he would come in, scrape the house, actually get it down to the wood with a planer, and then he started saying, you know what, I'm not lead certified, this is lead paint, I can't really do this, I'm not certified. Then he was thinking about getting his certification to do it, and then he backed out on that, and he's like, I found another company that would do it for such amount, would you be willing to let them come, scrape the house, and then I'll come in and finish up? So we were like, sure. So that's how it started. Tomorrow, this whole process starts. I'm so excited. A company that was certified in lead paint removal came and worked here for a few days just hand scraping the house. Probably one of our biggest disappointments, because we had set out thinking that the Amish man would come in here and try to plane it down to the wood, but it's understandable technically that's not really how you're supposed to do it with all the lead dust going around. Most people, the way they do it is they wet scrape it by hand and get all the loose paint off, and it ended up turning out really nice after the paint, so we're happy with it.
Look at all the broken pieces all around me, pieces deep inside my soul.
Once the scraping was finished, then the painter came and began to work on the house. He was replacing wood. He was ordering custom trim from our local custom molding shop, because some of the trim pieces that were rotted out, you couldn't find anything anymore like that, so you had to get like a custom mold, custom made trim that would match that. And he did a really good job. He went all around the house, patching up the rotted spots. He even went up and repointed the chimneys and did various things like that. So that is how the house started. All right, so the second week is behind us of people coming and helping us with the house. Like I said before, first week they came and scraped. Second week they're doing repairs. They washed off the house. He was here all week doing repairs, trying to catch up on things Nolan couldn't get done. But he didn't get everything done. So today we actually have a Saturday all to ourselves, completely off. Nolan is finishing working at whatever he can get done, and then next week the painter comes back again, painter, carpenter, and keeps working at replacing some of this. Let me just show you a little bit. So these windows are pretty much finished around the corners here. Some of that wood was replaced. Nolan is working at finishing this off around there. One thing we just knocked down right now, there was a pillar right here. We knocked that down so that can be finished as well. All the chimneys were repointed, which just means like regrouted. And right now, my husband is over here working at some more windowsills.
Hey, ripping a windowsill.
How's it coming?
Oh, it'll be a little bit of work, but.
This is also something he got done today, was refinishing this. This was rotted out, and this light still needs to come out. out because we're going to be putting porch pillars around there. We'll show that to you some other time. So right up there, Nolan's building a windowsill right now. But as you can see back here, this door got finished. That's finished. A couple of the ones up there still need done. And then there's rotted out pieces up here that need replaced. So with these old standing seam roofs, one thing that a lot of people do to maintain them is you put this kind of, I don't know what it's called, turpentine type tarry aluminum stuff on top. And because standing seam metal is so expensive, we had the guy go up and look, and we had a roofing person come and look, and they said the top roof looked good and this bottom one should be replaced. Kind of. It could be replaced. It's not just terrible, but so we were planning to replace the bottom one and just paint the top one with that sealer stuff. But as it would have it, we're starting to run out of money. And the other thing that we're going to be doing is these pillars on the porch behind us. We're going to be replacing them with wood, big wood beams that kind of look like big barn beams with a big barn header up top. So that's really cool. And while we were at that, we noticed there's a sag right here in the porch. And when we go to put the pillars up, that's going to have to be straightened out. So we're like, if we have the roof replaced first, then that is going to bend the roof. So that's not going to work. And we're starting to run out of money. Whoa! Did you wake up from your nap?
Yeah.
Yeah, you look cheerful. Anyway, so we finally decided, you know what? We can do the roofing ourselves. Nolan can do it sometime. So we decided to just cancel the roofing, save us quite a few $1,000s, and we'll just go up there and paint it ourselves. When they were pressure washing off the house, we asked them to go ahead and pressure wash off all the roof stuff. So that's done. So it's one more thing on our list, but it shouldn't take too terribly long, just like a day's work or something. But that's kind of the plan. We're scrapping that so we can put some of the money into wood pillars for the front porch here. And yeah, it's coming, it's coming! Really? Are you excited?
Yeah. Mom, look, Mom.
What?
Look at the butterfly way up there. Yeah.
So they have the primer on. The house is starting to look amazing. So up at the peak, he painted 2 different colors that I had requested as samples on each side of the window, and then the windows are going to be a little brighter white. So I'm just curious which kinds you all would pick. I'm guessing most people will pick the one kind, but let's go ahead and see. All right, so there she is. So on the left, we have kind of a lighter, warmish, more color. And then on the right, we have like a darker, almost like a gray. It didn't look gray on the sample, but it looks gray on the house. So I'm curious, if this was your house, which would you pick? I think most people go for the contrasting colors, but I love a white farmhouse, and my initial mindset was like white, like a off-white with white trim. And then we're going to do like wood accents, like wood pillars, some wood pillars around this door. Anyway, we're going with a lighter one. But let me just show you around the front of the house. I'm going to show you the rest of the house. What are you doing?
Mom,
What?
look at this trash can right here.
Okay.
Look right here.
That's not a trash can.
What is it?
It's, I don't know what it's for, to hook things on the truck. Look at that sunset, guys. It is just beautiful. What do you think of the house, Xander?
It's kind of painty.
It's kind of painty.
Yeah.
Really? Anyway, the house is getting done. It's starting to just look amazing. The primer is just, I can't wait to see it finished. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave the house at that point. There's some more pieces to this story that I want to add in future vlogs that come before the house is being finished painted. And in next week's video, we're gonna say some sad goodbyes to my husband. He had to go out west to help his family for 2 weeks. And during that time, I was working at some surprises for him once again. And so the next few vlogs are going to be about all the things that we were doing when he was gone. So thanks a lot for being here. We'll see you all in the next video. And if you want to see some of the house renovations we've already done, some of the videos I've made, then check out the videos somewhere around here. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.